And there's only going to be more MPs that are going to want to cross because he's not a good leader. The only reason he got the leadership of the party, the only reason why he was up 25 points was because of Justin Trudeau. Just people hated him more than they hated Pierre. Hey, everybody, and welcome back. So that's number 5 now. A 5th Conservative MP has now crossed the floor. Oh, man, what a sinking ship Pierre Poilievre has for our party right now. Let me get this off in the beginning. I'm not a fan of floor crossing. It's the nature of the beast. That's the game. It is what it is. But I'm in the camp of Tom McClare, where he had a rule where if you wanted to cross the floor to his party, the NDP, you had to register as an independent. Okay. And then his idea was that come the next election, you will be under the banner of the NDP, and the people truly wanted you to represent them as NDP, they will vote you in. And I'm a fan of that idea. I think that's a great idea. Because at the end of the day, even though they're voting for that specific person to represent the constituents of that party, but they also represent the party and people are voting for the party as well, especially how we vote here in Canada. But there are instances of and rules that allow them to leave the party. Okay, they have that choice. So until the rules change, which Pierre Poilievre couldn't technically start campaigning on, because if Canadians were truly, really, really upset with that, then he could say, I will change it that if you decide to leave the party, you cannot cross the floor, that you have to be an independent or do a by-election. I think the by-election part is a waste of taxpayer money, but there's that option. He can campaign on that. I like the idea that you just become an independent. Until then, these are the rules. And I don't want to hear about backdoor deals. She's a traitor, whatever. She made that choice. Pierre Poilievre and his party vetted these people. They chose her to represent the party, and she's been in the party since 2015. So if it's any indication, it's really on Pierre Poilievre as the leader and the party for the people that they choose. But getting back to this happened with Andrew Scheer. Andrew Scheer had a floor crossing where a liberal came to his side. He went around and did the rounds, went to interviews, talked to the news, brought her around. I can't remember her name, but got her to tell the story with him by her side, how the Liberals were no good, Justin Trudeau was not a good leader, was leading Canada down the wrong path, yada, 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 everything else. So if it was good for them, it's good for Mark Carney. So let's get to why she and those other 4 MPs have crossed. Many different theories, many different ideas why it's going on. Some of those ridings were like close. Everybody knows there was a lot of ridings that it was down to a couple of handful of votes. So them crossing, especially seeing how Pierre Poilievre as the leader of, the PC party is not really representing Canada, and they feel he's not good for Canada, and everybody's liking what Mark Carney's doing, having some of the ideas that fall within what they believe. That's why they cross, because if there was an election held today, they would lose their riding. So it's both of doing right for their constituents, but also for the job safety. So let's not beat around the bush and say it's not for that. But this one, Marilyn Gladu, she won her seat heavily, like 53%. And the Liberal was second, got like 38. So she won that riding heavily, and she's had it since 2015. So why would she switch? Why would she piss off her constituents, potentially piss off? Because we don't know exactly, but we could assume. Pierre Poilievre, it's the the party's not going in the right direction. I understand, like, he's changed his rhetoric, his tone. Even some of the pundits on the news organization were so impressed with how he handled himself on the Joe Rogan podcast. His tone does not mean he's changed. He's just changed his tone because the people are not happy with how he was like Trump lights. Because when you talk like somebody and you act like somebody and you have the same attack points like DEI, woke, how it's destroying the company or the country and everything else, you feel that you're going to turn out the same way as Trump. And as everybody can see how Trump has done or what he has done to his country, what he's done to Canada, what he's done to the world, nobody wanted him. So this change of tone means nothing. And these MPs know what's going on in the backgrounds, in the private meetings, how he is with them when the cameras are not around. And if she feels that he still hasn't learned his lesson, that he still is not leading the party in the right direction, that he doesn't have her constituents and what they need in mind, she says, forget this, I'm out, because Mark Carney's doing a good job in the eyes of the Canadians. And his popularity hasn't come down. Pierre's popularity hasn't gone up. Even with the change in tone, even with his interview with Joe Rogan, nothing was added. And there's still rumblings. There's still rumblings that a lot more MPs like herself are not happy with Pierre Poilievre. I told you guys this before. This wouldn't be the last. And there's only going to be more MPs that are going to want to cross because he's not a good leader. The only reason he got the leadership of the party, the only reason why he was up 25 points was because of Justin Trudeau. Just people hated him more than they hated Pierre. That's the only reason. Not that he had great ideas. Not that they thought that he was going to be good for the country. If you talk to people who voted for Justin Trudeau and then voted for Pierre Poilievre, all they said was, let's give him a chance. Not that they liked his ideas. It's more like, well, the Liberals screwed up, so let's go with these guys now. They can't make it any worse. But when you actually have a leader who had a head on his shoulder with a direction that Canadians believed in, of course you're going to lose. Because you had nothing to fall back on. So there's only one path forward for the Conservatives, and the Conservative Party is they got to let Pierre Poilievre go. They got to elect a new leader and start from scratch. That's the only way they're going to stop. Think about this. You have 5 MPs that left a party within a year. What kind of leadership is that? You had a 25-point lead that you blew 3 months before an election. You lost your own riding of more than 3,000 votes that you had for 20 years. And you had 5 MPs, plus who knows how many more, within a year. This is unprecedented. This is history. So he is going to be remembered, but not for being the leader of Canada, for being one of the worst PC leaders in the federal government on record. I guess he'll be with Trump because Trump's going to hold the same title in the States. So, again, the only thing the conservatives can do is just cut your losses, kick them out, and vote somebody else in. And just start clean. To be honest, just not going to be able to do anything anyways because, the Liberals are going to get the majority. Just sit there and wait and hope that Mark Carney makes a huge mistake that you guys can capitalize on. But I don't think so. It could happen, but I wouldn't put my money on it. Anyways, guys, that's it for me. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know how many you think more MPs are going to cross the floor. And what direction do you think the PC party is going to go? And do you think Pierre Poilievre's going to last the year? Do you think they're going to keep him on party leader until the next actual election in 4 years? Or if they're going to cut him loose by Christmas? Anyways, guys, take care. We'll talk later.